Alright guys, this is like my third attempt. For everybody that's stuck around in the building, I appreciate it. For some reason, I don't know if it's because it's storming tonight. I don't know what the deal is, if it's YouTube or the storm. Shalom, everybody. I don't know if it's YouTube or the storm, or the internet or what, but I literally have reset this thing like 3 or 4 times now. So we shall see. I'm going to give it just a second before I get into everything here to see if this is actually going to hold the stream for a minute. So just bear with me. We're going to give it a minute or two for everybody to... Hey, Elias. I don't know if you've seen the live stream a while back, man. But some of the funds that you donated, brother, and some funds that somebody else donated paid the insurance for the conference. So I just wanted to say thank you because I've seen you pop up in the comments there. Just want to say I appreciate you, brother, because that donation, we put that to use for paying the insurance on the conference there. But I don't know how to say thank you back on PayPal and stuff like that when people send the donations. But just want to say I appreciate you. So, guys, it looks like the stream's going to hold. I don't know. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate that. But I don't know if the stream's going to hold, but hopefully so, y'all willing. I know it has been like, gosh, it's been like a week and a half since that we've done a live on the channel. And, of course, I've been in Alabama doing construction off-grid, and I also got married. So I've kind of been out of the office for a while now, the studio. But while I was gone on my honeymoon, and yeah, you know, you have a lot of quiet time. You have a lot of time to reflect when you actually do just put the cell phone away, lock up the doors of the business, just turn life off for a week. I think a lot of people go on vacation. They don't even really take a vacation anymore. But anyway, with that said, while I had time while I was gone, I really got to thinking about a lot of subject matter that I have not discussed on this channel that is more relevant now than it's ever been throughout the whole course of this channel ever being produced. And this content that I'm going to talk about tonight, have you really considered life during the trumpets? I'm going to cover that, and we're going to be heavy in the scripture here in a minute. But the other thing I want to say is that I'm going to do a video soon, and I may do this live. I don't know if I'll do it pre-record or live. I've debated on this, but it's going to be about how hard it is for those of us that are Gentiles and those of us of the nations for us to walk in the way. Because, I mean no disrespect when I say this, and a lot of people may get in their feels the next comment I'm about to make, but the Bible is a black man's book. And what I mean by that, I don't mean a racist comment. I mean the book, when Moses was given the Ten Commandments, when Moshe was given the Ten Commandments, that was a dark melanated man that the commandments was handed to. That book has a history of many millennia of a certain people. Now, that doesn't mean the nations can't cleave to the Torah. That doesn't mean the nations can't come over and keep the truth. That doesn't mean the nations can't be saved. Matter of fact, if you read in the book of Revelation, and especially in 2nd Baruch, heavy hitting stuff about the nations being able to enter into the kingdom. But anyway, nevertheless, I think it's important to do that video because a lot of us Gentiles, we leave Babylon, we leave the church house, and then the next thing you know, it's like, well, there's a lot of camps out there that they're anti-against nations being saved, and then our own family don't want to accept us, and our friends don't want to accept us, and hey, yeah, and happy Sabbath to everybody that had kept Sabbath day on the Father's Lunisolar Biblical Calendar for those that keep the Father's calendar. And anyway, there's a lot of struggles, those of us of the nations that when we come out of Babylon and start trying to keep the way, man, it's a struggle. So I'm going to do a video about that. And that will probably be one of the next videos coming up, guys, on the Hard Truth Show. But tonight, I really want to get into this because this is a question right now, especially with the uptick of round 2 of Rona 19, is that we've got to ask ourselves, the world that we're about to live in very soon, it's going to be a dystopian world. It's not a utopia. Now, that utopia is the new kingdom. Let me see. No. Guys, I'll get in the comments here later and chop it up with you. So I was trying to look at them and keep. I hope the new camera, the quality of the video is better too, because I upgraded to one of them iPhone 11s or whatever. So they said the quality on the video where I use this for the video production will actually be a lot better. But anyway, I want to break this down tonight the best I can. Not only from somebody that specializes in taking people off grid, but also from years and years of study of the scripture, because I'm not coming at you like a pastor tonight. I'm not coming at you like anybody other than just another person having a conversation with you, because this is stuff that we all need to consider. Like I said, it's not going to be a utopia world that's about to come, like the whole nations coming together at peace and all that stuff, man. I mean, these are pipe dreams, folks. I mean, like, the next thing we're going to see is like some crazy alien invasion looking thing or something. I mean, been 9/11, now it's Rona. Next thing, I guarantee you, it'll be something to do with aliens. I guarantee it. I've already said that in videos back, this 3-step process. But, this dystopian world that's going to be, I mean, for me, I feel like I'm going to be driving around in my Cybertruck like Mad Max 2.0. I mean, like, I just feel like I'm going to be like nomadic. But a lot of people, you need to ask yourself, I mean, are you going to be in a community? Are you going to be in a group? Are you going to be with your family? Are you going to be alone? I mean, like, there was two special forces operators, and when they done a conversation with them, the reason I was watching it was military veterans react to Tom Clancy's Breakpoint for PS4, and I was watching them actual military veterans react to like a military styled video game, and at the end of it, pretty much one of the things that stuck out to me, shalom to everybody coming in the building, is that he said that they always kept the buddy system in the military. And, it could have been anything he could have said I had fears about, like getting shot, needed to call a 9 line in for an evac. I mean, all sorts of things. But he said he literally had nightmares. The best I remember and can recount what he said, by the grace of Yah. And Father in heaven, please forgive me if I told this wrong. But he literally said he had nightmares of being alone in a war zone. Now, I'm going to tell you, the 7 Trumpets of Revelation is going to be a lot worse than a war zone. I mean, you take a war zone times 10 and magnify that by 100 more, and that's probably what the 7 Trumpets of Revelation will be like. It says that literally men's hearts will fail them for the fear of things that's coming up on this earth. And, I want to give an honorable mention, too. The news is reporting UFO sightings lately. Yeah, getting everybody conditioned. That's what it's all about, guys. Conditioning. Literally seen a mask that people have to, how people have to wear a mask. One of them said Orwell got the date wrong, and it was on the mask. I was like, dude, if I had to wear a mask somewhere, that's the mask to wear right there. I mean, that's like a walking billboard. Anyway, this is the things that we got to consider, because I don't know where I will be the hour, the day, or what's going on when this all kicks off. But it is going to kick off. And I will give an honorable mention here, because I'm going to cover some things in Scripture. But if you've not read the book of 2nd Baruch, highly encourage you to read it. 2nd Ezra chapter 16, especially right there at the very top of the chapter. Woe to you, Babylon, Asia, woe to you, Egypt, Damascus, put on haircloth, sackcloth, beware you sons and daughters, for your destruction's nigh at hand. Skip away down there, and then it says that, when you see these things pretty much come to pass, this is the beginning of sorrows, and I'm just summarizing that portion. These are some honorable mentions, because it gives you a considerable timeline to start looking at things, just like Isaiah 17, I believe, is the burden of Damascus, talks about Damascus being a ruinous heap. So, that kind of gives you a start off. But when you pick up the Scripture, which we're going to do right now, and if you want to turn in the Bible, because I'm going to go back and forth, like referencing things, and I want to use the actual very words of the Scripture to look at the context of the things we're going to talk about tonight. Because, I mean, the conversation is the future world we're about to live in, a dystopian world, in light of the 7 Trumpets of Revelation and the 7 vials of wrath that's going to be poured out following that, and the return of Messiah. All right, so if you look here in Hazon, or Revelation, says, and I'm just going to read this, guys. I'm going to read some stuff, stop, pause. We're going to cover that point. So there's 7 trumpets, so we're going to pause 7 times throughout this, and I'll get into some of the comments later as we go, okay? So anyway, here we go. Revelation, where do I want to start at here? Yeah, I'm going to start right here. It's chapter 8, verse 1. And when he had opened the 7th seal, there was silence in heaven about the space of half an hour. Guys, I'm reading out the Et Sefer Bible, too. If you have a Hallelujah Scriptures or King James Version Bible, whatever, it should follow pretty closely. I saw the 7 angels which stood before Yahuwah, and to them were given 7 shofar. And another angel came and stood at the altar, having a golden censer, and there was given unto him much incense, that he should offer it with the prayers of all the holy ones upon the golden altar which was before the throne. And the smoke of the incense which came with the prayers of the holy ones, set apart ones, Kodashim. Just summarizing that word there, 'cause this has got a lot of transliterated words in the Etz Fair. Ascended up before Yahuwah out of the angel's hand. And the angel took the censer and filled it with fire of the altar and cast it into the earth. And there were voices and thunderings and lightnings and an earthquake. And the 7 angels which had the 7 shofar prepared themselves to sound. Now, guys, here's the thing. Something that I tried to voice in Doomsday Preppers. If you didn't see my episode, it was Doomsday Preppers, Season 2, Episode 10. Is they didn't want to cover the earthquake plus the trumpets, which I thought was ridiculous because that's the whole premise that, they even come to me on the YouTube channel, 7 Trumpets Prepper. But if you look at it, they highlighted that segment talking about an earthquake. And actually, there's lightnings outside the window right now as we speak of this stuff. There's a crack of lightning. And anyway, the thunderings, the lightnings, and then an earthquake. And literally, I believe this. I agree with somebody said 2 Baruch and 2 Esdras has lots of end times info too. Excellent, absolutely, yeah. It's due to serious red pill stuff, guys. The thing is I agree with World's Last Chance because I believe they made this assessment too. I think that earthquake will be worldwide. I think it will be a complete shaking across this geostationary flat Earth under a firmament dome, and it will be a severe wake-up to the world and its inhabitants. Hey, this is game time. Okay, that's a whistle blowing for the game. Okay, beginning. And, you look at some of the things that happen, like that earthquake that happened, I think it was off Indonesia. You have the whole deal with Fukushima. You got to think about this, that we've seen isolated catastrophic events. And when you start compiling that, and to a much larger realm with a whole world, across a whole world, then that is going to begin disrupting people's lives massively. Right there out the gate, okay? We're not even talking the trumpets started yet. I mean, we're talking stuff out like that movie Geostorm where you see like flooding coming in on cities and stuff. I mean, like, this is just a tip of the iceberg, okay? Now, if we look at the next verse, okay, trumpet 1 right here. The first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood, and they were cast upon the earth, and a third part of trees were burned up, and all green grass was burned up. Now, here's the thing, is if you look at Australia and the fires that happened over there earlier this year, which now they said that it was very interesting that those fires seemed to happen where that a new rail system was going to need to be built. But anyway, you look at this now, this is going to disrupt agriculture. Okay, so for people that haven't prepped some kind of food, some kind of seed, some kind of means to replenish food, guys, like, just Rona, look at what's been disrupted with food, toilet paper, beef, milk. Just, basic staples most people get, deeply disrupted. Not to mention with people rioting and pillaging their own towns and destroying what's left. Just complete sheer stupidity right there. But anyway, if you look at this situation, now, here we have not only a disruption in people's lives already, and probably coastal flooding around the world, but now here a third of the trees, and probably fruit trees too, and the green grass, crops and stuff like that, now it's burnt. So there's going to be some food disruptions right out of the gate, okay, which is automatically going to start disrupting people's lives. And we're just in trumpet 1. Now, trumpet 2, and the second angel sounded, and as it were, a great mountain burning with fire was cast into the sea, and the third part of the sea became blood, and a third part of the creatures which were in the sea had life, died, and the third part of the ships were destroyed. Now, I used to lean toward an asteroid potentially hitting the ocean. That was before the full knowledge of the flat Earth. I wouldn't say full knowledge, we're always learning, but a large grasp of the knowledge of the flat Earth, right? Well, as I look at it now, I think it's the Canary Islands. I think it's a volcano out there that they said that, like, if it literally fell into the ocean, it would literally leave catastrophic consequences all around in the Atlantic, I believe it was. And if you look, whether it's the Atlantic or the Pacific, this situation plays out like the literal cargo container shipping lanes disruption is going to, you already got food shortages. Now the means to get food, materials, water, fresh water, whatever, to and fro is being disrupted even more. A third of the ships, all right? A third part of the ships were destroyed. Okay, we're talking navies, we're talking transportation. Guys, I've done a series about prepping for the seven trumpets of Revelation. All right, like understanding each trumpet breakdown, right? And after this is over with, this live stream, whoo, man, that is like a bomb went off right outside the door. If y'all didn't hear that through the microphone, that is crazy. I mean, that was like literally sounded like a howitzer shell exploded on gun range. It's like boom, boom, back to back. But anyway, man, got me off track there for a second. If you haven't seen it, yeah, anyone in the military, you need to get out. That is for sure. Somebody said, I heard that. Man, I'm telling you, man, it sounded like a 155 howitzer shell just went down range. Anyway, if you will check back, guys, give me like later tonight after this publishes or tomorrow, and I can get that in there, the playlist. And it's on the channel page too as well. And that will definitely be something for a lot of people to look at on a deeper level, each trumpet, because we spend a lot of time producing that. Okay, so we've been through two trumpets here, and who knows the time span? People saying they heard that, man. That sounded like a bomb, man. That was crazy. It was like literally right outside the door. Praise y'all for watching over us. But anyway, the next trumpet that we're looking at here, we're three in, and the thing is, guys, is I look at these trumpets. I'm like, let's just say, for the grace of the situation, that this ain't just a bang, 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 bang back to back, right? Let's say that this is over the course of years. Let's just say everybody wants to go with 7 years. So let's just say this one of these events happen each year for 7 years, right? Let's say it happens even in around near feast days, right? This is enough damage to last for a whole nother year into the next. So like once you would maybe start to recover from this, then the next thing you know, the next year, here's another one hit. Heaven forbid this all happened in a year back to back to back. This would just, oh my goodness. I mean, this is just, that's what I'm saying. We need to be mindful of this stuff, okay? And here we go. And we're in verse 10. And the third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven, burning as it were a lamp. And it fell upon the third part of the rivers and upon the fountains of waters. And the name of the star is called Wormwood. And a third part of the waters became wormwood. And many men died of the waters because they were made bitter. And guys, I know I'm going quickly through this tonight. My point in case is not to go to a massive breakdown and everything, but point out the literal effects that this is going to create a dystopian world. And not that I'm wanting to live out a Mad Max fantasy. I'm just telling you, like, you need to understand this. And here's the deal. Is a third of the fresh water, a third part of waters became wormwood. Okay, so these are like, right here it talks about it, rivers and fountains of water. We're talking streams and lakes and like fresh water sources, as if it is already not hard enough to get fresh water. I mean, like, this is going to be contaminated, and who knows, like, is this biochemical, like what somebody said radiation from the asteroids. What I'm saying, like, you don't know what we're dealing with, beta, gamma radiation. I mean, we don't know what we're dealing with in this. So, like, the importance of having a well or having a means to purify water. Somebody said bitter means acidic. I mean, I'm just saying, like, guys, and I'm trying to keep up and pay attention with y'all. Somebody said right here the Greek translation is uncertain derivation. It's bitterness. That is bitterness of the water, right? So, I mean, one way or another, you're talking. Somebody said I'm praying for a catch and wait, guys. I'll just tell you, I would love to skip all this madness, but I just don't see it happening. I'm going to tell y'all something. I was leaving out of town, and I can't even remember what brought this up. It was just people being mean to one another or something. And I've seen how cruel humanity's been to each other lately. And I literally prayed to the Father. I said, Father, please, I'm not asking for riches. I'm not asking for great wealth, power, esteem, or nothing. All I ask is you let me live to see you pour out the trumpets on this world. Because I want to see this place judged. And I hope you count me worthy to live to see it and to enter in the new kingdom. Just like Jeremiah seen the destruction of Jerusalem, and then he was counted worthy not only to be spared, not to be taken away in slavery, but he was able to live and dwell in peace after the fact, and and go to his grave in peace. Honestly, that's I want to live to see this. I just don't want to suffer from it. Okay, and guys, I don't know if you can see the sign tonight. I wrote up there, "Are you ready?" Pre-trib ain't happening. He comes once at the end of before the wrath. There you go. So guys, here's the thing. We're three in. and we see a third of the trees burnt, third of the ships destroyed, third of the fresh water. So pretty much everything that's like massively life sustaining, important stuff that affects our everyday to day life. Like after 3 days and cities are out of food and stuff like that kind of thing. Here's the stuff that affects every bit of that, right? Being able to grow it, being able to transport it, then the fresh water to go along with it. I mean, like that's all things life sustaining, right? And then next, here we go. And the fourth angel sounded, and a third part of the sun was smitten, and a third part of the moon, and a third part of the stars, so that a third part of them was darkened, and the day shone not for a third part of it, and the night likewise. And I beheld and heard an angel flying through the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice, Woe, woe, woe to the inhabitants of the earth, by reason of the other voices of the shofar of the three angels which are yet to sound. Now, I want to make two notes here about this, okay? Is I feel, and please note I don't ever try to say feel or think, but I can only feel with this. I have no text to be like, I think this is how this is going to go. But I really feel like at this point in time, it's very good possibility. I think that this may be when the master resets the clock, and resets the time, peace, and the sky, and and the Creator's calendar back to the way it was before Hezekiah, and back to the full 30-day months. Maybe I don't know. The other thing that I will say to this is, in Scripture, when you see something repeated, that is important. The fact that it's repeated 3 times, whoa, 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 is massive. Like, that is massive. And so, the thing to take away from this is, at this point in time, I think people are going to literally be flipping their lid. Because, now this may be but the reason that a third of the stars and everything in the heavens is darkened is because it may be because an asteroid hit. Prior, of course, to the fourth trumpet sounding is because, you look at Mount St. Helens when it blew. I think it was in the late 80s. I think it was like 88. Mount St. Helens blew, and forgive me, guys, if I quoted that wrong. I know it was in the 80s, best I remember. When Mount St. Helens blew, it literally put ash plume so far that it came down on my dad's vehicle at BASF in Lowland, which is outside of Morristown, Tennessee. So, Mount St. Helens in like Washington State, it came that far, and that was just one volcano. Now, think about the earthquake before the trumpets. Think about all these events taking place. I mean, we started out 2020 before Rona was the thing. I remember all the volcanoes and stuff that went off the first of the year. Guys, like, I don't think I can even begin to detail. Somebody said, can you discuss the Mandela effect sometime? What is it and why it's happening? That'd be a good conversation topic for one day. We could definitely get into that, guys. Please email me a reminder at the number 7 trumpetsprepper@gmail.com, guys. But, before I go any further, you look at these trumpets to this point, okay? Our world is, like, completely redefined by this point. I'm not trying to, mix worldly things in with, somebody said, that Saharan dust thing. I know, guys, that was crazy the other day. Man, it was crazy in Alabama how weird the sky looked the other day. Just weird stuff going on in our world. But, I'm not trying to bring worldly things in with scriptural things, but it's just like, it's easy to reference like these dystopian movies and stuff because it's kind of the visualization I see. But like, dude, like just these 4 trumpets in, and I can literally see places the world already start to look like something out of a Mad Max movie. And I'm just saying, guys, like, fiction imitates reality sometimes, and you can. Somebody said it was dusty here too in Georgia. Yeah, it's weird down south, guys. I was working down there this week. It's weird stuff. Sky was like you couldn't see the sun. You just couldn't see the sun hardly. It was just like blotted out. It was weird haze in the sky. I don't really know how to describe it. But what we're going to see following these events, just this far in, like I said, the landscape of our world is definitely been redefined. And not only that, it's resources. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into the other three trumpets. And guys, real quick, channel sponsor, link video description below if you want to check it out. Prepare for the trumpets. If you haven't got prepping food, place to go get you some food. Prepare for what's to come. Help support the channel. So by all means, check that out. And guys, I'm so sorry. There's so much going through my mind. My words cannot process quick enough tonight. If you have not got tickets for the Restoring the Foundations conference, by all means, check it out and go over there and get you some, because they're getting gone, and I think there's only like 100 something left, and we're about a month and a half out from the conference, and they're getting gone. Okay, and there's still free tickets over there. All you gotta do is just get some, but the building's going to be at capacity here soon. If you're coming to the conference in August here in Tennessee, yeah, that's getting going. And thanks to everybody who's supported the channel over the past months this year, because that's gone to help fund this thing, and I really hope it's a great success. And we will be live streaming it. So anyway, real quickly, somebody said all these killings and truths being revealed as waking people that look like me all the way up. Yep. Somebody said I had a vision on 4 of 19 of an asteroid. It scared me for a few minutes, but I was able to calm down. Yeah, folks, people are having dreams of the sky being on fire, and I've heard a lot of different stories, so I'm telling you, something's coming. So anyway, let's get in the fifth trumpet, and I think we'll be done here about the 40-minute mark, and I'll be glad to talk with you for about another 20. And the fifth angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth, and to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. And he opened the bottomless pit, and there arose a smoke out of the pit, and the smoke of a great furnace, and the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit. And there came out of the smoke of the locusts upon the earth, and upon unto them was given power, as the scorpions of the earth have power. And it was commanded that they should not hurt the grass of the earth, neither any green thing, neither any tree, but only those men which have not the seal of Yahuwah in their foreheads. And to them it was given that they should not kill them, but that they should be tormented 5 months. And their torment was as the torment of a scorpion when he strikes a man. And in those days shall men seek death, and they shall not find it, and they shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them. And the shapes of the locusts were like unto horses prepared unto battle, and on their heads were as it were crowns like gold, and their faces were as the faces of men, and they had hair as the hair of women, and their teeth were as the teeth of lions, and they had breastplates as it were breastplates of iron, and the sound of their wings was as the sound of chariots of many horses running to battle, and they had tails like unto scorpions, and they were stings in their tails, and their power was to hurt men 5 months, and they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name is in Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Yavin tongue it has his name Apollyon. Woe, one woe is past, and behold, there are come 2 woes more hereafter. Now, sounds like trumpets. So here's the deal. A lot of people watch the show The Walking Dead, and when I read Trumpet 5, and I've read through Revelation more times than I can count, and when I go back in there, I look for it again and again and again stuff, and to me, I can't tell if I can't really get a clear definition on what I'm looking at. Am I looking on like something like aliens or Predator? Am I looking at military? What am I looking at? But one thing I know what I'm looking at is this. Just like I made a video about it and broke it down, the Foot Locker commercial, the Week of Greatness or whatever, and they were like just literally mocking the end days, seemed like, is that there's literally going to be people that seek death and can't find it. You're going to have, I literally believe, walking dead, zombie people walking around. And they'll probably drop dead at the end of the 5 months. But for those 5 months, they're not going to be able to die. They're going to be tormented. And I think it's going to be a crazy show to see. And another point I want to make to this is if you look, and I've got it pulled up right here for speed of time, is in Ezekiel, okay? Now, I think it's chapter 8 that leads into this, the part where that Ezekiel speaks with the messenger, and the messenger puts a hot coal to his mouth because he's like, I have an unclean tongue among unclean people. And the messenger's like, well, here, and he touches him with a coal, and then, he says, you're cleansed. But I want to read this to you real quick. And he said, he cried also in mine ears with a loud voice, saying, cause them that have charge over the city to draw near, even every man that has his destroying weapon in his hand. And behold, 6 men came from the way of the higher gate, which lie toward the north, and every man a slaughter weapon in his hand. And one man among them was clothed with linen, with a writer's inkhorn by his side. And they went in and stood beside the brazen altar. And the glory of the Elohim of Israel was gone up from the cherubim whereupon he was to the threshold of the door. And he called to the man clothed with linen, which had the writer's inkhorn by his side. And Yahuwah said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. And to the others he said in my hearing, Go ye after him through the city, and smite, let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary. Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house. And he said unto them to follow the house and fill the courts with the slain. Go ye forth. And they went forward, slew in the city. And you can read this in Ezekiel chapter 9, and of course, like I said, Ezekiel chapter 8 leading into it. But the reason I step back into that is because the past, I think, is always indicative of the future. And if you look right now, the people that sigh and cry at the abominations of this world, the people that try to serve y'all, oh man, we just get beat down all the time. And literally, those of us that try to keep the commands, that, you literally are at the point where that the seal of Yah, if you take and replace Mark right there and just look at that with the situation right now with the seal of Yah, is that literally we're going to be walking down the street and you're going to see this stuff, happening around you, and the only thing that's protecting you is the Master Yah. That's scary stuff, guys. I mean, that is just deeply scary stuff, and I want to share this with you. Where's that, right? Sorry, I've got so many notes and everything around tonight because I wanted to cover a lot of this. And guys, I will take a pause here in just a second and read some of these comments because I'm trying to look at some of this as we go. But if you look at the situation that happened in Ezekiel's time, and you look at the situation that happened now, the mark of the beast, you can take it in the hand or in the forehead, which I think physical agreement is in the hand, mental agreement is in the mind. The thing is in the last days, right now, just like those people that got that mark of the writer's inkhorn that day, those of us that try to serve Yah, keep His commands, believe on His Son, have faith in Mashiach, and His sacrifice, literally, it's going to be some crazy times to walk down the road and see all this going on around you. I'm telling you, folks, it's a lot to consider. It is deeply a lot to consider. Right here, let me see. I'm just going to catch up. I'm going to read 5 or 6 of these comments, guys, and then I'm going to get these other 2 trumpets out of the way, and then we can chat it up. Somebody said, SA Day. I try not to say pagan days a week anymore, guys, but it said, I dreamed I was in a bus of some kind, and suddenly 12 feet ahead, I could see the road had a huge crack, and I was going to jump out. But my mother told me, no, it isn't here. Somebody said, what I believe about the Walking Dead referring to the 5th trumpet is that these are the kind of people who receive technological singularity into their bodies, immortality through digital implants. Oh, that's some deep thought there. That is some deep thought, Chad. And yeah, guys, the whole AI thing, man, we could talk about that forever. Somebody said the 4 sword judgments, plagues, the sword, famine, and knew some beasts. Somebody said probably not too far off, right? Yeah, absolutely. Somebody said outstanding. I've said the same thing for years. Zombies are right there in the Bible. Why would we be fed a steady diet of Hollywood crap about it if it wasn't going to happen? Absolutely, and that's the thing, guys. That's what I'm saying. Fiction imitates reality, but I'm not worried about some zombie coming around trying to bite my head off or eat me. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about literally people wanting to die and they can't, and it just looks I can imagine it looked just like the people that were walking around in the Foot Locker Week of Greatness commercial. If you haven't seen that, go back in the archives, my videos. I've done a whole breakdown analysis on it, guys. It was a crazy video. And somebody said, then suddenly it drops through the road in a deep sinkhole, and I couldn't hear anything anymore, not even myself crying, Yahuwah. It felt real. I woke up, terrible. Man, somebody said, Lucas, please, I'm not sure if you've heard about this or not, but type in any 3-digit number in Google and then spacebar, then cases, it'll pop up coronavirus cases. Any 3-digit number, it will pop up. Wow. No, I hadn't heard about that. That's, and it don't surprise me, though. Man, they are pushing this thing. I've never seen an agenda push so hard, guys. I haven't. I'm serious. In 35 years of my life, this is a trip. Somebody said, I had a dream not too long ago of someone trying to eat my arm, but I got away, then woke up. Wow, that's crazy, brother. Somebody said, what about this chip thing that they're putting in the vaccines? So let me pause right there on that one a second, and I'll tell you this. I have a video link I'm going to put in the video description below, and I'm not making this stuff up, guys. I tell you, don't take my word for it. Look this stuff up for yourself. Is literally a woman got RFID chipped in her hand. She holds her hand up to the palm scan thing on her door to get in her house. My wife sent me this off TikTok. People are freely, gladly going and getting assimilated in this system. Okay, and just like I've said lately, for people that are woke, that there's at least 10 people not woke, and they're wearing a mask when you're not, and they're giving into the system. And just like this woman, her husband convinced her to go do it. She goes, does it. Now she's showing it off on TikTok that she's sticking her hand up to the side of her door to get into her house with the security feature. Like, I'm telling you, folks, like we're in a whole new world. We're in. From now on, I'm labeling it. It's Mad Max 2.0, but we're in some broad, crazy new horizons, guys. Like, keep in mind the New World Order has a website, official website now too. I mean, like, I just can't make this stuff up, guys. Right here, let's see what somebody said right here. Okay, yeah. Let's see. That's true. I looked it up. Oh, Ian's talking about looking that chip thing up. Yeah. And the three numbers. You can Google any number you want. For instance, 2005 CV. It will come up with that number somewhere in the world. It's ridiculous hoax. Goodness gracious. Somebody said I recently read that there had been more funding to spin up robust development for CERN. We will see things where hearts will stop. Yeah. If you go into setting up on your phone that Google and the coronavirus app in your phone for tracing. Yeah, now my ex-wife actually brought that to my attention recently, guys. That's true too. It's in there. We'll read a couple more comments, a few more, 3 or 4 more, guys, and I'm gonna get back to this, finish it up, and then we'll chat it up after. Say, Brother Lucas, what's your feelings on the book of Yasher, book of Jubilees, Hanok, and Apocrypha? Yasher is mentioned in the Bible and book of Jude, quotes Enoch almost word for word. So here's where I'm at with it, brother. The only book that I have issue with, guys, is Jubilees. I can get into that another point in time. Here's the deal. Whether you read that book, agree with it, disagree with it, I don't see that it's a salvational issue. The book of Yasher, the only thing that was weird to me was where Yosef was talking to his mother in the grave. That was weird to me. That was almost like necromancy. Other than that, I didn't find an issue with that. The book of Hanok, I love. I want to read it again soon. I've really been smashing out the book of Baruch. I literally read it almost through, stopped, went back, reread it all through again. So, yeah, good stuff. Totally agree with it. You would think they would have come up with something better than COVID to scare people into submission. They've been preparing the world for this before we were born. It's obvious. I feel like the movie Idiocracy. Now, I haven't seen that, and guys, I'll tell you, whoever told me to watch Replicas, shout out to you as well. That was a crazy movie. Somebody said, new here, I'm a Christian. Hey, welcome in. Hope you enjoy and get some good content from here. Guys, I want to tell y'all something. Is the reason the Rona 19 thing, it's the last thing I'm saying, we're going to get the last 2 trumpets took care of on here, okay? Is the whole deal with Rona 19 is that if you backlog 9/11, right? The invisible enemy, the terrorists, they're on every street corner. Cobra Commander and his thugs are on every street corner, right? Then you've got, and I'm just using that as a reference, because like Cobra Commander was always the original terrorist, right? Well, I mean, like, here you go, the 9/11, now everybody's a terrorist, Well, then the Rona 19 thing, well, all of a sudden now we've got the invisible enemy we're fighting. Now, the next thing will be interdimensional or alien beings from another world, because it's like, we don't know where they're coming from, who we're fighting, and that's like Ronald Reagan talked about, Like, that's the big 3. So, I mean, that's just where that's at with it, guys. So, now here we go. Back on track here, it says, and the 6th angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the 4 horns of the golden altar, which is before Yahuwah, saying to the 6th angel, which had the shofar, loose the 4 angels which are bound in the great river Perath. And the 4 angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour, and a day, and a month, and a year, for to slay the 3rd part of men. And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000, and I heard the number of them. And thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them, having breastplates of fire and of jacknut and brimstone, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions, and out of their mouth issued fire and smoke and brimstone. But these 3 was the third part of men killed by the fire and by the smoke and by the brimstone which issued out of their mouths. For their power is in their mouth and in their tails. For the tails were like unto serpents and had heads, and with them they do hurt. And the rest of the men which were not killed by these plagues, please pay attention right here, that were not killed by these plagues, yet repented not of the works of their hands, that they should not worship devils and idols of gold and silver and brass and stone and of wood, which neither can see nor hear nor walk. Neither repented they of their murders, nor of their sorceries, nor of their fornication, nor of their thefts. This is important, okay? This is why this part's so important. Is after a third of man is obliterated, after all the stuff they've already experienced in the trumpets, it's business as usual. This is what I call the toilet paper effect. Now, I'm not trying to downplay anything scripture. This is just my label. The toilet paper effect is this, okay? Is you look at Rona 19, right? This lady went and bought up all this toilet paper. And the minute, I mean just literally the minute that things seemed like they were okay, then boom, right back in the return aisle. I need to return all this. I'm getting back to my pagan life. That's the toilet paper effect. These people suffer from the toilet paper effect because it's just a momentary stop, and then they're like, I'm going to go back to my sin. I sit here with you right now, as humbly as I possibly can tell you this, is I don't know if I'll enter into the kingdom. It is a more real realization to me every passing day than I've ever seen. And the reason I say that is this is the deal. Number one, I'm born of the nations, okay? I wasn't born Israel. It's very hard for a man to enter into the kingdom, I believe, especially living in the world we in today, and especially as one of the nations, and especially after reading the second Baruch, how that the nations that known Israel and disrespected them, that the master would deal with them. But he would spare some out of the nations. And I just feel like at the end of the day, I don't know if I've done my part enough to find favor with the master that I may see salvation. But the way I look at it is I have two options. I can serve Hashatan's kingdom, which is this mess that you currently see, or I can serve Yah's kingdom and hope that I may be granted access to the tree of life and to the new world to come and resurrected in the right resurrection too. I don't want to be resurrected with the crew to be burnt. But that's where I'm at with this thing. So I try to approach this stuff humbly. That this is the deal, that you've got to look at this as humbly as you possibly can, that we need to seek his favor and his protection now. And I want him to purge any sin in me now, because I want that seal for when this comes. I'm serious, guys. Get my little Cybertruck. I'm going to be driving down the road, looking out the window back and forth at this madness, probably trying to move to the next place like a nomad just to get me a drink of water from a creek bed or something. Because I know I just see this crazy dystopian world unfolding before my very eyes, and it's a scary, sad place. And we all really, if we've not made peace with people, now's the time we need to be making peace. If we've not put away pet sins, we've all got them. Don't you sit here and lie to me and act like self-righteous. We all need to purge this mess now, because I tell you, if I survive the trumpets, it will only be because of the grace of the Most High Yah. That's it. That's all I got to say on it. Now, guys, I've ran over. I'm going to be about 10 more minutes, and then I promise I'm going to jump back in the comments. I want to just get over here real quickly. So we've read right there. Okay. Now, if we go over to chapter 16, all right. Now, I want to read you this. Or I'm sorry, chapter 11. I was going to make one other comment about the vials too. But if we go over chapter 11 and it's verse 15 through 19, this is the last one. And the seventh angel sounded, and there were great voices in heaven saying, the kings of the world are become the kingdoms of our Adonai and his Mashiach, and he shall reign forever and ever. And the 24 elders which sat before Yahuwah on their seats fell upon their faces, worshipped Yah, and saying, we give you thanks, O Yahuwah Elohim Savoah, which I think that means master of I'll tell you in a second. Elohim of armies, I think is what that means, Savoa, and forgive me if I'm wrong on that. I was just trying to remember that transliteration real quick. Which are and was and are to come, because you have taken to you great power and have reigned, and the nations were angry, and your wrath is come, and the time of the dead that they should be judged, that you should give reward unto your servants the prophets, to the holy ones, and them that fear your name, small and great, and should destroy them which destroy the earth. And the temple of Yahuwah was open in heaven, and there was seen in his temple the ark of his covenant, and there were lightnings and voices and thunderings and an earthquake and great hail. And if you go over real quickly to sum this up, is chapter 16 has the vials of wrath. And one of the things right here that you can go through and look at all the plagues that happened following the trumpets, which is just mind-boggling. But right here, I want to just read. Actually, I'm just going to read this. I'm just going to read this through real quick, guys, because the thing I want to commentate on is at the very end of the chapter. This is the last chapter of scripture we're reading here tonight. It says, "And I heard a great voice out." This is chapter 16, Revelation. This is the vials of wrath. Okay, following here we see after the trumpets, right? Is that said here? And I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the seven angels, Go your ways and pour out the vials of wrath of Yahuwah upon the earth. And the first went, poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a newsome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image. And the second angel poured out his vial upon the sea, and it became as the blood of a dead man, and every living soul died in the sea. And the third angel poured out his vial upon the rivers and fountains of waters, and they became blood. And I heard the angel of the waters say, You are righteous, O Yahuwah, which are and was and shall be, because you have judged thus, for they have shed the blood of the holy ones and prophets, and you have given them blood to drink, for they are worthy. I heard the other out of the altar say, Even so, Yahuwah Elohim, Savoah, true and righteous are your judgments. And the fourth angel poured out his vial upon the sun, and power was given unto him to scorch men with fire, and men were scorched with great heat, and blasphemed the name of Yahuwah, which has power over these plagues. They repented not to give him glory. And the fifth angel poured out his vial upon the seat of the beast, and his kingdom was full of darkness, and they gnawed their tongue for pain, and blasphemed the Yahuwah of heaven, because of their pains and their sores, and repented not of their deeds. And the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Perith, and the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. We talked about this recently, about the kings of the east and the river Euphrates. A lot of that stuff's getting prepared up right now. And I saw three unclean spirits like a frog come out of the mouth of the dragon, out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet, for they are the spirit of devils working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth of the whole world to gather them to battle the great day of Yahuwah Sabaoth. Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watches and guards his garments, lest he walk naked, and they see his shame. And he gathered them together in the place called in the Hebrew tongue Harmageddo. And the seventh angel poured out his vial in the air. And here you go, guys. This is what I want you to pay attention to. And there came a great voice out of the temple of heaven from the throne, saying, It is done. And there were voices and thunders and lightnings. There was a great earthquake, such as was not since men were up on the earth. So mighty an earthquake and so great, and the city was divided in three parts, and the cities of the nations fell. Worldwide earthquake. All right. And great Babel came in remembrance before Yahuwah to give unto her the cup of the wine of the fierceness of his wrath. And every island fled away, and the mountains were not found. And there fell upon men a great hail out of heaven, every stone about the weight of a talent. And men blasphemed Yah because of the plague of the hail, for the plague thereof was exceedingly great. Now, what I want you to understand is, once again, the TP effect, all right, toilet paper effect, is that these people, even after all this, many of them didn't want to repent. There will literally be people, I believe, trying to attack the new kingdom when it comes down out of the heavens above. If you are not preparing, at least mentally, for the crazy things that we are going to see, and I mean crazy, not that the word's crazy, I mean just crazy trying to process this through our finite brain. It is literally, it is literally going to be mind-boggling to see the things that are going to happen. And I hope that, from the bottom of my heart, I hope you literally get prepared for this, because reading the seven trumpets of Revelation, reading that the commandments still matter, this is the stuff that literally woke me up and got me out of Babylon. So guys, I'm going to roll back here, and excuse me, I'm going to get back into the comments, and I'm going to kick this with you here for about 10-15 minutes. Somebody said, will they wait another 20 years before they unleash the fake alien agenda? It's been almost 20 years since 9/11. Now, I was talking to my wife about this earlier today, and if you look at the agenda that they've been running for a long time, like I literally, it's like somebody, that T-shirt and that face mask thing I seen, that somebody said Orwell got the date wrong. Is I really believe by 2030, folks, they're going to try to have this new world order full effect. Why I also believe the trumpets will start here in the near years ahead. Somebody said it's so crazy that some people won't repent after all that. Oh, I know. Like I literally want forgiveness now because I don't even want to deal with this stuff. Like literally, like if I know I can't live through the trumpets, I'd almost just prefer to go to sleep at night and then not wake up until the new kingdom. Because just fast forward it. Because if I am going to go through this, I want to live through this, see all this stuff take place, so that when I do enter the new kingdom, I will never want to sin again because I will see and remember all the stuff that went on and know that if I go down that path like Hasatan did, that this is what that leads to. And so I'd never want to return to that. Somebody said, "Oh, the TP effect." Laugh out loud. Yeah, I mean, guys, seriously, it's a toilet paper. That one with the toilet paper, man, she just blew my mind. Somebody said just like Israel and Yehuda did, knew better and just done wickedness in his sight anyway. Yeah. Somebody said Yahuwah spoke to me, saying, "You have a message to deliver to someone of great power. They will not receive it, and will behead you for my name's sake and my testimony in you." At the Vatican, Rome, Italy. Oh wow, game changer. That's deep. Smith said the Most High is in control, though. He allows or disallows the thing, even Hasatan, to fulfill his plans. Absolutely. You know, it's interesting what Game Changer said, because I've wondered about that. I was like, if I was going to die, and say I did get my head cut off or something, wouldn't it be amazing to be able to call out the man of sin and be a witness and die there in front of people? I've said that in the past. At least your life wasn't in vain. Somebody said after Yah releases his wrath on them, they did not return to him. Somebody said, when you get your Mad Max truck, Luke. The Cyber truck, I don't know if y'all can see this. I'm going to tilt it up. Give me just a second. I got my artwork there for my Cyber truck for my canvas. But I think that I'm supposed to get the thing in like late 2021 if the production schedule and all that stuff holds up. But guys, with the way things are, who knows when I'll ever get my truck, if I get my truck before the world falls apart. Somebody said some will be beheaded, right? We need to be repenting, absolutely. Let's see, somebody said, Brother Lucas, if you are a so-called Gentile and me the so-called lost people, for what you are doing, I hope I'm near you so you can take me in as one of the Most High's people. Let's see. If you are a so-called Gentile and me the so-called lost, for what you are doing, I hope I'm near you so you can... Oh, okay, I follow. I think I follow. Yeah, it's Tesla truck. Yeah. Isaiah 47, Indo doesn't win. Yep. What Bible translation is reading from? That's from the Et Sefer. Somebody said, let's see. It's great to see. I guess some people's chatting up here. I think we all fear not measuring up to be fit for the kingdom. I fear it daily. Absolutely. And ain't that the whole duty of a man, to fear Yah and keep his commandments? I mean, there's lawlessness just being taught all over the world nowadays. Guys, I'm almost caught these comments up. Sorry, I was just trying to catch up. Somebody said I got spiritually attacked, and that's why I repented, as that was over 2 years ago. I've never been so scared in my whole life. Somebody said, question, Luke, do you think the temperature scans they're doing on people's are a way to get them used to forehead scans when the mark comes in the future in the forehead or hand? Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a great point. It's a conditioning thing. That's what I'm saying, guys, is it's the frog bulling in the pot effect too. Is you cannot throw a bull, you can't throw a frog into a hot a pot of water and just burn them up. You've got to slowly turn things up and boil that frog. And that's the thing. It's a mind conditioning thing. Absolutely. Somebody said we won't make it to 2030. Uh, Somebody said, "Gee, thanks people for reaching out to the new person." Christians, I guess. Um, what's wrong? No, somebody said it's storming in Greenback, Tennessee. Yeah, man, it's coming a crazy storm here. Uh, let's see here. I fear that too, not being good enough. Somebody said, "Ask what denomination is he?" I don't know if you're asking what denomination I am, but I left the denominational Christianity thing a long time ago, guys. I used to be a Free Will Baptist. Left Babylon, or I thought I left Babylon. I went to Seventh Day Adventist Church for a while. Then I finally left Babylon, and now I just consider myself a servant in the way of the Most High Yah. Um, oh, I love that. Somebody responded. No denomination here. We just simply read the word and do what it says. There you go. That's great. Great answer, Josh. Um, well, yeah. He's. I mean, I like you guys. Somebody said D. He follows the way. He's not connected to any denomination. Absolutely, nope. I checked out on that, guys. Somebody said temp scan soon to be a mark in the forehead. Hand sanitizing soon to be mark in the right hand. You got it, Chad. You got it, brother. Um, Somebody said the way, the truth, and life. No demon nation is. Yeah, you got it, guys. Yeah, the thing is see, there's so much to cover. You just can't. You just cannot. There's not enough hours and days to cover it all. Is that see now? I covered tonight from an angle of just dealing with literal physical decimation in a dystopian world. And we're at like 56-minute mark. And so here's the flip side of that. Now, I covered a dystopian environment and the damaging to the world. Keep in mind that we're going to have to deal with AI and Mark of the Beast and hand scans and face scans and all this stuff. Like literally, there was a woman, and I'm not okaying that she cursed and like lost her mind, but she was in line to check out at a food place, grocery store, and so when she got there to the checkout line, because that she didn't have a mask on, they wouldn't service her. This is all conditioning. This is all conditioning. You've got to understand that. Like, guys, listen, I've already prepared. I fly to California here on the 7th. And I'm already prepared to take my card. I'm getting it prepared to take that says that, that card I shared with you here recently about that, I'm exempt from wearing a mask and it's against the law to force me to and all that stuff. Because I'm telling you what, I think that, I think these people, these clowns running the show, they know there is people like us out here that are woke. I wonder, with COVID, Rona being a live exercise right now, it makes one ask themselves, because they said that, it's like, well, this is a live exercise. They slipped up and said that, right? I can't remember if it was like one of the president's morning press conferences or something, but anyway, like the thing that we have to look at from that is that the fact that they are using this as a live exercise, they're seeing who's compliant and who's not. Okay. And just like the real ID thing I talked about a while back, is that now they push that back a whole nother year. Like if you don't have a passport, excuse me, you don't have the real ID thing, you need to get all that stuff in place now, if possible. Because I think later there's going to be a lot more stuff added in with it. Like it's going to be required that you have a vaccine certificate or you have an RFID chip. I mean, for crying out loud, folks, I just said that about that lady on TikTok. I got to share in this video when I'm done the playlist link for the Seven Trumpets of Revelation series that I done a long time ago. And also, I need to share that about that TikTok. Because, guys, I'm telling you, man, it's going to come clean off the rails. And I think the part that's going to get me is not so much living in the dystopian environment. I've tried to find reconciliation with that it may be days before I find a clean bath It may be days before I have a good meal again. It may be days before I sleep good again. Maybe days before my truck charges up and I can drive somewhere again. You know, I mean, like, lots of thoughts through my mind with that. You know, I mean, like I said, Mad Max 2.0. But the dealing with human beings and having to fight against the Mark of the Beast system and all that drama, that's the part that I'm going to struggle with, because I literally got into a almost a slugging match at Texas Roadhouse with that hateful Karen the other day, coming over there, manager lady stepping way out of her bounds. And I'm not one for hitting women. I'm just saying, like, she wanted to come over and get all beefed up in my face. Like, I'm more than happy to stand up and, you know, you want to be a man, I'll hit you like one too. But you know, like, the world is out of hand already, and people in it. And you know, like I done that video, the snitches, the Karens, and the sheeple culture. There's more of them than there is us, and so the fact that there's more of them than us, it should already throw up red flags that getting away from these people is paramount. Let me go back up here real quick, because yins are blowing up the comments tonight. Let's see here. What suggestions you have connecting with other awakened believers? I'll be honest, worldslastchance.com has a great networking app, guys. I would start there. That's the number one spot I always recommend people anymore out of the gate. Somebody said, I'm an Israelite married to a Gentile. We were having the wildest time finding others' trust. I'm telling you what, folks, I have fellowship with people that said they're in the way, and have done me wrong, just like some of the worldly people. So it is hard. It is hard. That's why this conference, I hope a lot of people can come together and hopefully not only just be edified at that conference, but find other people to network with that's like-minded to build together. Somebody said, was woken up by a voice that said many. The voice was calm and gentle. I remembered later in that day that the word many was in Daniel, meaning God has numbered your kingdom and finished it. Let's see. Wow, good point about the temp skin on the forehead. Yeah, that was a good point, Chad. Absolutely. Somebody said use California Civil Code 51. I'll have to check that one out. There are many ways to spell it. Someone may have made a typo, but we refer the Most High as Yah. Yeah, guys, and that's the thing. We shouldn't argue over the name. I mean, obviously, we're all trying to strive toward the same goals, honor the Father. Somebody said, I found a congregation. It's definitely blessed to see brothers and sisters face to face. Oh, it is, guys. It's massive. You know, we need each other now more than ever. Lucas, please type in any 3-digit next to his case in Google. It'll pull up the number in a news story. It doesn't matter what the 3 guys. I'm gonna have to do that, because a bunch of you guys have gotten on to me about that tonight. I'm really gonna have to give that a try. And you gotta be honest. I gotta be honest with you. Please don't make light of what I'm about to say toward you, but it just don't surprise me anymore. When it comes to Rona, I almost feel like Rona has become a religion to some people. Like, it is all that's talked about. It's all that's focused on. Literally, like, nobody dies. I can't tell you the last time I heard anybody die around here, around me, that well, aside from one person I know that cancer got them, that it has that's anybody said anything about anybody dying. If anything goes on, it's just it's Rona. It's just Rona. You know, and let's see. But yeah, I will check that out about the Google, guys. The 3-digit numbers. I'll definitely check that out. Somebody said thank you. It sounds like it's just translation issues or pronunciation. Sorry, I just don't know. Hey, it's all good. You know, like I said, everybody's in a different slot in that walk right now. And D, just hang in there. I always say Yahushua and Yahuwah. That's how I pronunciate it. But you know, I always try to use the short form Yah or the Most High, and that seems to be an easy way to relate with people without, you know, people getting in their feels because I mistranslated or something like that. Right, there's a good one. Somebody shared Revelation 14:12. This calls for patience and endurance on the part of the people of Yah who keep His commands, remain faithful to Yahushua. Absolutely. Hey, Snow Wolf's in the building. Hey, doing great. Hanging in there, girl. Somebody said, Oh, yep. That's another one. Then the dragon was enraged at the woman and went off to wage war against the rest of her offspring. Those who keep the Yahweh's commands hold fast their testimony about Yahushua. That's it. Somebody said, well, I guess the tribulation would be, well, kind of like how it is now. Just crank things up a bunch more notches, guys. Somebody said, brother, Ray, Chad said one more thing. If you have the chance to get out from the American soil, what country are you wanting to relocate? Don't disclose which country. Big eyes. Watch. It's all good, Chad. I don't care anymore, brother. My hot spots that I've looked at, Fiji. But I don't think I'm allowed to own firearms there, even though I could have dual citizenship, homeland, take my vehicle, all the other stuff. $50,000 investment, you're locked in. I've looked at Belize. I believe same situation there. Firearm issues. I had looked at Australia in 2011, was going to move there, but after the gun firearm thing went down there, that was a no go. And that's honestly the places that I had looked. But I mean, America's going to be severely judged, dude. This place, like, it's going to look like a Mad Max movie when it's done, folks. It's going to look like it when it's done. I'm telling you. Somebody said I'm the only one in this truth in my family, guys. That's how it happens to so many of us. His sheep hear his voice. His sheep know his presence. Whatever way you want to spell the Most High name, the worshipers will worship him in spirit and truth. You got it. That's it, guys. That's it. Somebody said Rob Skiba did a piece 2 or 3 days ago about any number with COVID came up on Google. It's called Are We Being Scammed? Wow, I'll have to check that out. Smith said, what about Africa? Yeah, I saw that too. Okay, guys, so I'm going to answer that one about Africa, and then I'll answer a few more on here, and then I'm going to wrap this up for tonight. Got a busy day ahead tomorrow. Got to do a service call for a customer, but here's the deal about Africa. And I mean no disrespect, and I don't want this to sound racist when I say this, but I am the wrong melanin shade for Africa. Because all that's going on in this world right now, the white man is apparently the problem of everything that's going on in the world right now. And it doesn't matter the way I see it. It at the moment in people's eyes, it doesn't matter that I try to do good by everybody. It doesn't matter that I love y'all, that I don't have a racist bone in my body. None of that stuff. It don't matter. It's one of those things where what is the guilty by association? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Africa, I think, would be an absolutely wonderful idea because, I mean, you can get just straight. That country is so vast, dude. You like could just disappear in that place. But on the flip side of that, like I said, I think right now, especially as many atrocities because of the United Kingdom and Britain and all the colonialism and all the crap that they've done over the years, and especially with all the stuff going on right now, I believe that would be a disaster for me. I think that right now, for me, the best opportunity I could have is maybe Asiatic country, Spanish-speaking country, maybe assimilate there, because I would much rather being in a third world country and the world fall apart than to be in a first world country and the world fall apart, and then you have Mad Max Beyond the Thunderdome kind of world. Y'all following what I'm saying? Because if I live in a crap hole already and tomorrow the world turns into a crap hole, then it's just one more day in a crap hole. But if I wake up in America and 3 days later after the stuff's hit the fan, it's going to get crazy. So, let me see here. I'm a Christian new to really listening to your teaching, so I felt like I needed something. Well, hey, welcome to the show, welcome to the channel, and please come back. I hope there's something here can help you guys. The whole reason this channel got started was because years and years ago, nobody hardly was there for me when I came out of Babylon, and so I had to walk this thing out to today, a decade later, and that's why I'm trying to help wake other people up and give answers to people that can help you a lot further along in your path, so you don't have to go down the same struggles. Somebody said I pronounce Yah and Yahuwah and Yahushua like you do. Yeah, and that's the thing, guys. I mean, we all know who we're talking about trying to serve. Okay, VR says California Civil Code Section 51 provides protection from discrimination by all business establishments in California. Very nice. And I'm going out there to Cali land, so I need to Need to keep that in mind, guys. Y'all have no idea how much I travel this world. It's just crazy. I literally was in Florida, came home for a day or two, then was in Alabama, then came home for a day or two, or for like a week or so. I'm gonna be in California, then I kind of come back, then I got to go to Alabama, then it's Florida again, then it's California. I mean, it's just all over the world, man, or all over the country right now, anyway. Um, Somebody said you can run, but you can't hide from. I'm just say the Most High. He moves mountains. That's right. Uh, it's a. I love your honesty. Don't have any free. The Most High will guide you. Thinking about Guyana, South. I guess that's South Africa. Why do you never hear anything about Costa Rica? I don't know. I know one of my bosses I used to work for retired and went to Costa Rica, but I don't know how that turned out for him. Somebody said the true Hebrews are the black men, but those are those ones on the corners that are teaching bad doctrine about Esau is the white man. Yeah. Yeah, one day people will figure out that the white man is not Esau. I covered that so long ago. Actually, right after I brought it out about who the true Hebrews were. Um, Somebody said in our gun laws in Philippines, our law says that no foreigner can lawfully own a firearm unless you're a Filipino citizen. Yeah, man, I'm telling you, the gun law is what gets you, Chad. They disarm you first. Everyone will be in their appointed location. Yeah, and I kind of agree with that. You know, most I got Lot out of Sodom, he can get me out of America. I believe that with all my heart. That's why I'm just kind of trying to relax anymore. From what Jonathan Tusa, I can't spell his last name, but he said that they love white people over there. So go, brother Luke, if you really want to. Oh, nice. Um, let's see. We have work to do during that time. We can't run uh, from it, but face it. Yep. Who needs a gun? Um, well, guys, I think we all need to definitely carry a firearm. Let's see. Lots of conversation about firearms today. The video Esau is it still accessible? Yeah, just put Seven Trumpets Prepper. Um, is the white man Esau or something like that? Just Google it, or on here on YouTube. And then the other one is the True Hebrew Israelites, Seven Trumpets Prepper. If you guys want to check that one out about who the True Hebrews is, who is Esau. Um, all right, guys. I think I've wrapped up all the comments. So listen, I'm going to be doing a video soon, like I said, about the struggle for the Gentiles, that we're going through. I think a really good conversation will be the second Exodus coming up too. Scripture talks about second Exodus being greater than the first. There's just so many good conversations that I think that is more timely now than ever. I will be doing a live stream just focused here soon about the conference coming up. A shout out for all the speakers in that live stream, how I know them, my background with them, and a background of what they've been, their ministry is or who they are and etc. That'll be coming up. There's a lot of good stuff that's going on that'll be coming up, and oh, absolutely, shalom, love you all, guys. This is fellowship for me as well. Because man, I've had some rough runs with trying to have fellowship, and it just sucks. I hate being alone. A lot of times I've had opportunities to travel and fellowship with people, and it's been great. But I'm hours away from anybody around me half the time. I mean, there's a bunch of us get together around up here in Gatlinburg area and stuff sometimes in Sevierville, but it just sucks because everybody's scattered abroad, and for one of me that loves y'all, there's like thousands and thousands of people that they don't give a flip, and SUN Day Church is their thing, and or SAT Day Church for that matter, and they don't want to keep the Father's calendar, and they don't care about loving y'all, and it's rough, and it's just it's crazy times, and you don't know where you need to go and who you need to link up with, and I've just been praying for direction. I think we all need to be praying for direction, and you know yeah, I'm at the point right now where here I am, Master Y'all. Do with your servant as you please. I'm your property. Please let me be found doing your will. So guys, as always, till we see again here. Part is gone. I would like to be. Oh, yeah. I think Ron Dalton them's got some stuff going on for a trip or something. Yeah. So, yeah, and I'm sure you can get more info about that at the conference. And, guys, thanks for being in the building today. It's one of the, I know there was a ton of people in the live stream tonight. We're in the up in the hundreds on the views. So, guys, as always, till we see you again here at Seven Trumpets Prepper Channel and on the Hard Truth Show, hope the Most High Yah Baruch you and keep you, make his face shine upon you, show you favor, and give you shalom, my friends. In Yahushua's name.